Hi guys, Artie here, and it seems that King of the Hill will be leaving Adult Swim for the second time on November 22nd, as they are losing the rights to the show and opting to not renew the license. They saw it as more economically viable to acquire newer seasons of Bob's Burgers rather than renewing the license for King of the Hill. In a perfect world, they would have chosen to have both shows, but I guess they only had the budget to pick one or the other. The show will not be departing without fanfare. Adult Swim will be playing fan-favorite episodes of the show for 6 hours a week for the rest of the week until its final airing on November 22nd at 5:30 a.m. to commemorate this beloved Fox series and properly send it off. King of the Hill will still be available to watch on FXX and can be streamed on Hulu. It was an honor having King of the Hill on Adult Swim. It's one of the higher class Fox shows that is up there with Futurama. Before the show made its debut on Adult Swim, it aired in broadcast syndication starting in 2001 until 2019, and also on FX from 2004 until 2008. It then originally aired reruns on Adult Swim from 2009 until 2018 when Comedy Central acquired the exclusive cable rights to the show only so Adult Swim couldn't have it. They would only air it during late hours of the night or during wee hours of the morning when most people weren't awake to watch it, and then they stopped airing it altogether in 2020. Comedy Central then sat on the rights until they expired in 2021 because they were petty. Fortunately, Adult Swim was able to acquire a portion of the show's cable rights through a 4-year contract, which is set to expire later this week. Also FXX, not the main FX channel, has also had the rights since September 2021 and continues to air it to this day. Some people on social media are saying that King of the Hill didn't get renewed because it rated poorly. However, it actually performed modestly well, just not as high as Bob's Burgers and Family Guy during its peak viewing hours. That's why it really only aired when transitioning in and out of Adult Swim for an hour, as it was a milder show like Bob's Burgers, which will be the new Adult Swim transition show, for now. I have no doubt in my mind that Futurama, which was also likely acquired through a 4-year contract, will be gone from the schedule by the end of December, given that the show is currently only shown at graveyard slots and is the last show of the night on Saturdays only. It's a shame it bombed in ratings despite being one of the more clever Fox shows. I suppose it's not as mainstream as Family Guy or The Simpsons. The thing that doesn't make sense is that Futurama used to top the ratings chart before it got removed in 2007 the first time, so what changed? On the bright side, Futurama will be the first show of the night on weekdays starting in December to fill in King of the Hill's gap. That way, it isn't just Bob's Burgers until 9 p.m., at least for now. Hopefully, they give Futurama a well-deserved send-off just like it did in 2007 and how King of the Hill is getting it this upcoming week. Maybe American Dad will finally get some primetime showings again, and not just during overnight hours. The rights to American Dad on Adult Swim, TBS, and True TV are set to expire sometime around 2030, and I'm unsure if it'll get renewed, or if they will allow it to lapse. It still airs for 2 hours on weeknights, but only during 1:30 to 3:30 a.m. I wouldn't be surprised if FXX manages to get their hands on it at some point. As for the more recent Fox shows that have enough episodes to warrant syndication such as The Great North, Adult Swim does not have faith in them as the already established shows, especially Family Guy since they are already Hood certified hits, and these newer series are a risky gamble that could bomb. Not to mention, it was announced not too long ago that The Great North had been cancelled after 5 seasons, so even if it was proven worthy for the network, they would not receive any new episodes down the line and would be stuck with the same 97 of them unless it got miraculously revived due to high ratings on reruns like Family Guy did in 2005. You almost never see that happen anymore. The reason why cable TV channels spam the same shows repeatedly with massive marathons is because it pulls in decent numbers. The average viewer coming home after work wants to watch the same thing over and over again because it's what they're used to and it's cozy. Meanwhile, the movie, TV, and animation enthusiasts that want variety like myself aren't even watching cable anymore, so there really isn't an incentive to cater to people with different viewing habits. They're watching their preferred content through streaming sites, video sharing sites, and my personal favorite, other means. I don't agree with how cable TV is managed these days, but it's just the way things are in the current landscape. At the same time, you can counter this by saying there's still plenty of OG Adult Swim fans still watching the channel, and this can be proven with the statistic of Adult Swim's viewership increasing by over 100% across a wide range of demographics back when Checkered Past was introduced. In some cases, better variety and showcasing older and more obscure shows does work, but usually it's temporary and reverted back to the old programming strategy not long after because they're scared it will hurt ratings. I think Checkered Past would have stuck around a bit longer if it wasn't for the fact that 40% of the programming team was laid off earlier this year. I wonder if that's the reason why Adult Swim has pretty much become FXX2 ever since. It's a real shame what used to be one of the cable channels with the most varied schedules and lineups well into the 2020s is now following suit with what other channels have been already doing for years, by spamming the same shows non-stop. Throwback and nostalgia channels akin to Boomerang, including ones that are not necessarily animation-centric like MeTV and INSP, can work, but it depends on various factors such as demographics and availability. MeTV Tunes is on OTA, meanwhile Boomerang is only on a few cable providers and only on the most expensive tiers on top of that. King of the Hill, you will be missed after airing on Adult Swim for 14 years on and off. When you heard the intro play, you either knew that CN was done for the night or that the real fun was about to begin. Who knows, maybe it'll come back in the future. Perhaps 2032? If Family Guy was able to come back, anything can happen at this point. As for the people saying that Adult Swim should pick up season 14 of King of the Hill even though I want them to, God, I can't even imagine how expensive it would be if they attempted to get the rights to air season 14, which dropped on Hulu last summer. You know how Disney is, it's not happening. It'll probably air on FXX in a few years on TV, if ever, because apparently streaming should be the de facto replacement to TV rather than being complementary to it. It's a shocker that Futurama was able to have new episodes premiere on FXX back in September instead of having it forever exclusive to streaming. The only thing that didn't make sense about the Hulu era episodes premiering on FXX is that they started from production season 10 instead of beginning it from season 8, which hasn't aired on TV yet, confusing viewers who may have not watched it on Hulu back in 2023. Some people have told me that they'll eventually get around to seasons 8 and 9 and not skip them entirely, but I'm skeptical given the treatment of solar opposites. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, notify, and check out other videos on the channel. You may like them. How do you feel about Adult Swim choosing to acquire the 3 latest seasons of Bob's Burgers instead of renewing the rights to King of the Hill? Let me know in the comments.